The government has begun work on something which is being called a universal pension scheme. What Labour Ministry sources are telling us is that this is going to work in close coordination with other important ministries which are required to be brought on board. For example, the Finance Ministry. But let's break down what really does the UPS or the Universal Pension Scheme actually mean. See, what it does mean is that it also, first of all, who are the people who are likely to come under ambit of this scheme. So all those who can register for this are people like who are in the unorganized sector, domestic workers, gig workers, those who normally don't even think of a pension post 60 years of age. So what this does do, it is voluntary in nature. It is not compulsory like the PF we all have to pay, which is deducted from our monthly salary. Under the Universal Pension Scheme, people can voluntarily contribute the money to this scheme for whatever earnings that they are making. For example, if I have got say a 20 lakh rupees at my disposal, I can deposit all or some of it either at one time or over a period of time under a universal pension scheme. So after I'm 60 years of age, I can then take it out and use it for whatever my needs are. As of now, what we are picking up from sources, the government is not mulling the option of contributing to it. But this is something which cannot be ruled out. This is where the Finance Ministry is going to be taken on board and see how much is it financially feasible for the government to contribute a certain percentage of it. The interest that can be earned by the money you're depositing under the Universal Pension Scheme is also something which is going to be a part of this proposal. Which means that the 20 lakh, if I'm depositing at one go, I may earn a small amount of interest on it. But for the unorganized sector or for like domestic workers, this is of course going to be seen as a huge headway. Now, there are many such schemes of the government already existing. For example, the Atal Pension Bima Yojana. Then there is a Pradhan Mantri Samdhan Yojana. So, one of the proposals which is coming in from the Labour Ministry is that all of them can be merged and made a part of the Universal Pension Scheme. In fact, the state governments will also be taken on board and they will be convinced that why don't you all bring it under one umbrella. Now, if you look at other countries, they do have, as we all know, something called the Social Security Scheme. Part of it is voluntary, sometimes it's not voluntary, but there's only one nodal kind of a centralized scheme which makes it easier to handle, makes it easier to decipher. That is something which the Labour Ministry is now mulling. This is still in the first stage, but the reaching out to the other concerned ministries like the Finance Ministry has already begun and they're going to see how much it's possible, what is going to be the kind of contributions. Now you can always ask me the question that how does the government benefit on it? Well, what happens is that there is going to be money, technically speaking, which is going to be available in the fund. That money, which is going to be in the part of the bank or into your account, can also be used for further investment or it can be floated in the market. That is how the generation of currency in the economy is taking place. So government sources say that at a time when liquidity is something which is being stressed upon, this is something which can work to the advantage. So we have to wait a while. Some more clarity may come in soon because this is going to be sent to the Prime Minister's office. Possibly in the second part of the budget session of Parliament, the Labour Minister or the Finance Minister can actually give a response on what do they envisage as a part of the Universal Pension Scheme.